Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Degula channel. In this video talk, we will see some more details of the Matsya Purana. The details regarding the temple architecture, some kind of tourism, temple tourism, like this, important places of worship. Those kinds of things are mentioned in this Matsya Purana. We will go in some detail about these things. The Matsya Purana and the Brihat Samhita, it's another text called as Brihat Samhita. They both contain some of the detailed instructions on how a temple is to be constructed, how a temple design is to be made. Then sculpture of the deity or the figures that are to be built, that are to be carved, and the artwork also. Specifically, it tells about 20 different styles of Hindu temples, temples. The designs, they are called as Meru, Mandara, Kailasa, like this, names of the great mountains, Meru, Mandara, Kailasa, like this. This provides some guidelines on how to lay the foundation stones, foundation of these temples, then organize the inner spaces, organize the sanctum sanctorium, where uh, the worshippers gather, where the main deity is worshipped, and then the design of Kalasha, that is the topmost portion of the temple, that is Vimana, Shikhara, or something like that, Gopura, all these things, that is on the top of the temple. Outside, it is available, it is visible from outside. It speaks of how it is to be designed. The most important principle here in Matsya Purana is in the designs, it is always in the square designs. Everything is in square designs. For larger temples, for very big temples, the land structure should be planned on a grid of 64 squares. It's also called as Mandala or yantra. So 64 square grid. The main entrance to the temples might use some kind of a 16 square grid. Now, smaller temples can use these kinds of 16 square grid also, a smaller area. The main entrance of the temple and the sanctum, the innermost part of the temple, where it is a very sacred area, where the deities, where the gods, where the worshipping, whatever that we worship, it is placed, and it should easily be usually face the east. They face towards the east, that is towards the sun, where the sun rises. These are some of the things that I've been told. Very few things I'm just telling you. There are a lot more things that are described there. Now, this text, it also explains that a temple, a worshipping place, should be looked upon as a representation of the human body. There is some similarity between the human body and the temple architecture. So now here the soul, the Atman, the rough equivalent in English is soul. Anyway, The Atman and the supreme being, that is the Brahman, which is residing in the heart of the temple. It is in the heart of the temple, middle of the temple. The proportions of different parts of the temple, like the height of the entrance, the length and height of different levels where it should be, and the gopuras, 7, 11, depending upon the um, design of the temple, the placement of the carvings, whatever the carves design, where it should be placed, all those things are described in detail. These proportions that are being given in the Purana, given there, they are all designed so naturally. They are so natural that they please to the visitors. They are very pleasing to look at. Now, to tell you an example, the Purana suggests that the pillars inside the temple, the pillars which support the main structures inside, they should be divided into 9 parts, each with specific names like Padma, Kumbha, Antara, all those kinds of things. The width of each part and the carvings on structural features that go on them are carefully laid down according to these divisions. One interesting factor is that the Matsya Purana is named after the Vishnu Avatara, the first Avatara of Vishnu, but it includes many sections about the Shiva installation of Shiva Linga. It also covers the installation of Vishnu's idols, Murti, goddesses, and other deities. It does not only contain Vishnu's this thing, Of course, it is predominantly Matsya Purana is a part of the Vishnu's avatara, but here Shiva Linga, how it is to be installed, all those things are, the details are given. Now, the archaeological survey, archaeological evidences from these temples, they suggest that these ancient texts, they are first millennium C common era, before 2000, 3000 years back, they were all constructed, but they suggest that these ancient texts, including the Matsya Purana, all these things influenced temple architecture across India. That means the Matsya Purana is much, much earlier to all these things. Or the contents in which were contents of the architecture were much earlier than those temples which have been built like this. Because many temple architecture is as per the designs suggested by in the Matsya Purana. Interestingly, many temples have survived. Even in the modern era, they are available, and they follow the square design principles and architecture guidelines as mentioned is in this uh, Matsya Purana and then Brihat Samhita, all these kinds of things. So with this designs that is being mentioned in the Matsya Purana, we conclude this video. Please like, share and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you, viewers.